Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. And I take a break for a week and I come back to an update to the Forbidden Limited list here on Master Duel. It seems that them doing this on a monthly basis keeps things surprisingly interesting, all things considered. Although, I'm not gonna spoil it, but we'll get there when we get there. But this is an extremely spicy list, all things considered. So let's just get this over with. On the bands, some of these are like well and expected, while the others are like, why would they do that now? But well, we'll get there when we get there. And editing me again, we have work to do. So first on the bands, Cyberstein. Why was this even like brought back to the game in the first place? Who the fuck knows? It's banned in the TCG and limited in the OCG. Lord knows how much longer it has over there, but it'll be banned here on Master Duel once again. So there's that. That's to be expected. I mean, with Instant Fusion banned, tier limit players are like looking for alternative ways to cheat out Kit Kalos, and now that Cyberstein is gone, we can finally like take it breathe a little easier from like tier elements because as if you guys haven't already seen the updates by this point, beast deals are on the horizon. So yeah, just a few more sets. We are a few more sets away from cash tier format, and but we're gonna have to get over the beast deals first before we get there. So yeah, Cyberstein band, you will not be missed, you zombie looking motherfucker. And then up next, Smoke Ring of the Thief. This was a surprising hit. Banned in the TCG, if you've played in that format, good to God, I tried playing in that format, Jesus Christ. And then limited in the OCG, likely for the same reasons. I didn't play in the OCG format during the Spirit. It was in the TCG for like during when Infernoble Knights were like all over the goddamn place. Yeah, to have this big band, it's surprisingly I haven't actually faced off against a lot of Infernoble Knights, and probably for good reason because by the time Master Duel came out, Linkross was already banned. That was the card that practically propelled Infernoble Knights all the way to tier 1 contention. So there's that. And when they banned Smoke Grenade, which is like their primary win con because it allows them to rip at least it allows them to rip not only one card out of their opponent's hand, but they can manage to recycle that equip spell at least one more time so that they can rip two cards out, and they have so many redundant pieces that they can basically fight through at least 3 points of interaction and still end up with a surprisingly decent board after all that. But this was a card that was just begging to be broken sooner or later, and I honestly think that this is like a little too late for it to be hit on the ban list because Infernoble Knights aren't exactly like tearing up the meta here on Master Duel. But I guess this is like a preemptive thing because it'll probably be more broken by more equip focused or rather equip spell focused decks down in the future. So good fucking riddance. And possibly the weirdest hit to the Forbidden Limited list, Terraforming being banned. It's still currently limited in the paper game, whether you're in the East or in the West, but to have it here be banned in Master Duel is fascinating. I guess it's to like take down decks that use their field spell a lot down a notch. Although granted, I'm a dancer player, I don't really like rely on like the field spell that much because all of my other starters are like just as strong. But the other decks definitely like tier limits and possibly even Kashtira, who like use their field spell like as either extension or hell even as removal tools. And this also, now that I'm thinking about it, is an indirect hit to Labyrinth because they also use their field spell quite a lot. But other than that, this like also hits like a lot of rogue level decks who rely so heavily on their field spell. Well, granted, the what was this? The Gaia deck. They have like 6 different field spells, and all of them are like searchable off of other means. So like this isn't too much of a loss for those types of decks. But otherwise, losing terraforming, this one will definitely be missed because even as a one of this deck, like this card just represents so much for the decks that need it. But you know, it's at the very least 30 UR points when we finally get to break it down on June the 8th. And then we move on to the limited section. I'll just like this is the interesting part because not all of them are actually here. I'll get to it when I get to it, but I'll get to the ones that are actually here. Keldo, Mudora, and Agido, just plaster them all on the screen all at once. Finally being limited here on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and that's also their status in the paper game. About goddamn time. I am so sick of playing against tier limits. But now that bestials are on the horizon, oh boy, we'll have like it's not as well. Believe me when I say that bestials are not going to be as prevalent as they were in the paper game, because not included here on the Forbidden and Limited list. We'll get to the bestial hits when we get to it, but you know, Keldo, Mudora, Agido, good riddance. I'm sick of playing against tier limits by this point. Oh my god, I participated during the world qualifiers. I made it to day 2, and I got pretty sick of it by the time I was done. I was like in the top 1,500 players, so at least in my region. So that's an achievement and a half for me on my part. It was rough because like 2 out of every 3 duels is just tier limits. I'm so sick of playing against that deck now. Oh my god! But you know, to finally see them be hit, they basically have like run out of a lot of good starters at this point. You'll be seeing a lot of numbers when you build a full power, quote unquote, full power tier limit deck now. But moving on to the surprise hit, the 2 bestials that will be getting limited on release, of all things. I'm going to go over the more obvious one first, and that's bestial mag. It's actually spelled Magnum Hut, but it's just a lot easier to just say Magnamut because you know people tend to miss the H. But Magnamut, or as I've heard some people call him Pizza Hut for some reason, unlimited in TCJ, and this is like the only bestial that's actually been hit on the paper list because it's limited in the OCG. This is a searcher, and if I remember correctly, all of the bestials have a DD Crow style effect, but they can only like target lights and darks in the graveyard, and it's a quick effect if the opponent controls a monster. And I believe all of the main deck, almost all of the main deck bestials can do this. So it's a DD Crow for a very specific archetype. So there's that. And Magnamut here is the searcher of the deck on top of his like DD Crow effect. And let's also like his stats are like decent as well, so there's also that. So a quick effect, it's a DD Crow that can search, so what more could you want? It's limited for a reason in the OCG because bestials were like far too problematic over even with Max C keeping a lot of combo decks in check. So yeah, Magnamut being limited right off the get-go, I guess we won't, same with like tier limits, in spite of tier limits having been hit on release, I believe this is a pretty significant hit to bestials right off the get-go. I don't think we'll be seeing too much of them, but given the other decks around them, they will probably still be a presence, just like how tier limits did. And then the surprising one, Bestial Drewsworm. It's unlimited in the paper game, but here in Macedon it will be limited alongside Pizza Hut. So woof indeed. This is the when he is sent from the field to the graveyard, you send a card your opponent controls, or rather you target a card your opponent controls and you send it to the graveyard as well. So the way I say it, it's card neutral because you spend a card to get rid of a card, So, and it also has the, the bestial quote unquote DD Crow effect. So it's removal on legs, and again, stats are like nothing to scoff at either. But this was weird. But again, non-destruction removal is like extremely premium. It's like the next best thing to banish style removal here on not just Master Duel but Yu-Gi-Oh in general. If you just send something to the graveyard, like it doesn't trigger a lot of on destruction effects. So Drew Swarm is a really good form of removal of that. Yeah, bestials are like hit right off the get go, and Jerusalem was the one that I did not expect at all. But Magnamut, this is like a long time coming, and we at least we won't be seeing them to be. We won't be seeing too prevalent, hopefully, a presence of bestials. Although, granted, branded, like we'll probably see a resurgence once again. And then the semi limits. Now, this is a pretty chunky semi limit list. Sprite Blue, unlimited in the TCG and apparently limited in the OCG. I think I missed the boat on this one and why it was limited in the OCG, but I guess because if I remember the stories correctly, sprites were like so prevalent in the OCG that they basically put the deck on the chopping block pretty soon after release. So Sprite Blue, the main searcher of the deck, to have it be semi-limited will hurt the consistency, but it will not outright kill the deck. We'll still be seeing a lot of Sprite around. We'll still be seeing a lot of rank 2 shenanigans for as long as Ronin Toadin is still around, but at the very least, Toadil Awesome is not around anymore. So they won't be that oppressive anymore because they've Sprite Starter was already like hit on the list preemptively. So we won't be seeing we will be seeing a consistency hit to sprites from here on out. And then the next one, this was a long time coming. Orcus Girsu, as I prefer to call him because his actual name is way too long, but it's basically Orcus Girsu. There's no two ways about it. Unlimited in the TCG and still limited in the OCG to this day because Konami fears God and they do not want full power Orcus in the paper game again. In spite of the fact that they are a fan favorite archetype. So to see one of, if not, well, in my personal opinion, the best starter Orcus ever got in Orcus Girsu. Good to see you back, my man. I'll probably play that deck sometime in the future, but I have other projects in the works. So yeah, look forward to an Orcus deck somewhere down the line. Probably not this year, probably next year. Once I save up the points for that deck. But otherwise, we'll be seeing an uptick in Orcus on the rank ladder again. Up next, Dear Servant, coming back to 2 from its limited status. It's currently unlimited in the TCG and still semi-ed in the OCG because reasons. The OCG loves their semi-limited list. I guess just a slap on the wrist for consistency is sometimes more than enough in the OCG at least. This could come back to 3. The decks that run Nadir Servant and all of the associated cards with Ecclesia, they're not as powerful as they used to be. If normal summon Alistair has been power crept out of the format with normal summon Aluber, Dogmatica will not do what it used to do, unfortunately. Hell, even their I think it was the new fusion. If not the fusion, it's the ritual. It's not even being used in the Dogmatica deck. It's being splashed in other decks instead, which is very, very telling. So yeah, we might see them back on the rank ladder, but I highly, highly doubt it. And speaking of something that we will see more often, Metaverse being semi-limited, so it's slowly being peeled off of the ban list because it's currently unlimited in the paper game and nobody's using it. Because a terraforming that is 1 turn too slow is already way too late. This is still slightly scary because if you have it at 3, you have the bullshit decks that use set rotation to lock out your field zone in the first place. We will definitely see more of that once Metaverse has been fully released off the ban list, but otherwise this is a very very slow replacement for terraforming, and I do not see people running it unless it's for bullshit reasons. And finally, coming off of the ban list, again, from limited to semi-limited, Cyber Angel Benton. It's currently unlimited in the paper game, both ways, and with Drytron, like I think they lost. Yeah, they lost Herald of Orange Light. Their best form of negation is no longer there. So what's the point of having Benton? I don't quite remember what Ava's condition is here on Master Duel, but Drytron is just nowhere to be seen anymore. Because that deck is just way too reliant on the graveyard, and with so many decks that's ready to shut down the graveyard because of freaking tier limits, and with bestials up on the horizon, Drytron is simply way too vulnerable for the meta these days. So yeah, those are all the upcoming changes to the Forbidden Limited list here on Master Duel. So whew, bestials up on the horizon, and likely soon after that we will finally see Kashtira format, and I am very very frightened about what's to come. So let's just get into the deck that I'm going to play today. We will be right back. Okay, we're back, and here we are with the updated Melffy list that I promised so long ago. Sorry it took a while, but here we are. So the updates to the Melffy deck, there's only like two cards in particular. Melffy Wally, Melffy Penny, and Mary Melffy's. Those are the only changes that I made to the deck, and I am very very surprised at how absurdly good this deck is. The control elements are like insane, as you will see. I've been playing this on the rank ladder on occasion, and the amount of games that I can steal with this deck is just insane, as I will explain in a bit, and why my ratios will definitely look weird to some of you here. So we will not go over all of the cards here, but having 35 formation Tenki to back up the 2 fractal is like really feels really nice. But the only thing that I will heavily go over is my ratios here. As you can see, I only have one of each of Fenny, Catty, Puppy, and Pony. In more quote-unquote traditional builds, you would happily have like 2 to 3 of each, especially of Catty and Puppy. But I am treating Wally as if it is like extra copies of Puppy, because Melffy Wally is like an in-archetype rescue cat. And it does not need to eat your normal summon, and it skips like the traditional Ash Blossom stuff. You specifically need not just Ash Blossom, but sometimes even Infinite Impermanence to stop whatever it is Melffy Wally is gonna do. So there's that. And then Melffy Penny is the replacement for is an in archetype, rather not replacement, it's an in archetype Hoppier Squadron. Although it can only synchro summon with stuff that has been bounced to your hand, but more often than not it's like good enough. And it even has an additional effect where if it's in your graveyard, you can just equip it to any beast Xyz you control, which is just insane how good this card is. And it's only a rare here on Master Duel, like Jesus Christ. And then the primary reason why I only have like one of each of all of these Melffys, especially Catty and Puppy, is because of this Melffy Starring Contest. This is an in archetype fire formation Tenki. Like, oh my god. And to top it all off, apart from basically searching any beast from searching any Melffy, you can even mulligan a brick you have in hand. Like, what the hell? And then to top it all off, you can even like reduce the attack power of your opponent's attackers by revealing any number of Melffys, and you will probably have like 2 to 3 of them at any given time. And it's like a huge reduction if you add it all up. Like a Puppy is 300, Catty is 200, so you can reduce their attack power by like at least 1,000 at minimum. And yeah, that's like one of the few changes here in the main deck. And then in the extra deck, we have two Merry Melfies because if this is summoned, this is basically acts as a bounce, and only if it's special summoned though. So revival effect can also work, but of course it has to have been properly special summoned first. And then if your opponent learns special summon, so basically like the Melffy condition, it can be returned to the extra deck and then just summon an XC, a Melffy XCs. And then if you still have like Melffy of the Forest here, if a Melffy bounces back to your hand, you can basically negate a monster your opponent controls. So this is a surprisingly good control deck for the decks that are unprepared to face off against it, because Kalantosa is like a free pop as long as you special summon it. And then we're running the full 3 Tri-Brigade Revolt because I did run a build that had Bear Brum in it, and then I realized that Bear Brum actually conflicts with a lot of the effects that the Melffy have, because Bear Brum locks you out of any other special summon apart from Tri-Brigades for the rest of the turn if you use her Surge effect. So if you do that, you will not be able to summon any of your Melffys onto the field. So, and yeah, you need to be able to summon your Melffys onto the field, unfortunately. So we're just running the full 3 Revolt in place of having no Bear Brum in this build. Otherwise, this is a pretty quote-unquote stock Melffy list. And we're gonna hop into these duels and see what these cute little guys can do in the rank ladder. I forget I don't, or rather, oh my god, see, I can't even talk properly. I don't record for a week and I already forget how to do things around here. So I'm going first, and this is a pretty decent opening hand, all things considered. So we will bait our opponent's interaction first with the Tri-Brigade half of our deck. This will definitely feign the Ash Blossom if my opponent ever has one. Once my laptop behaves here. Let's turn that one off. There we go. All right. Fractal pushes through. We will go through the typical Tri-Brigade stuff. Fractal, then send kit activate. Yeah, you've seen this before if you played Master Duel like during the early days of this platform. And there we go. That's what I was expecting. Using the Royal Rare Ash Blossom on our Tri-Brigade kit. That's a flex and a half if I ever saw one. So we're gonna just relax here. Because Wally, since it's the end phase, we can just summon Wally onto the field. There we go. This looks innocuous. Believe me, it is innocuous. But believe me when I say that this is very powerful. Because Wally represents any of our Melffys in the deck, as you will see shortly. But let's see first what our opponent does before we do any shenanigans here. We are facing off against ooh, what did he discard? I'm assuming one of the bricks he has in hand once my laptop recovers here. Yes, Blue Eyes, do your roar. Okay, summoning Naxter, or Napster, as I would prefer to call him. There we go. What did he send? Okay, he sent a Cyber Doragon. I don't think we should act here yet. Yeah, target a machine. Yeah, special summon except machine monsters. I don't think we're gonna act here just yet. We're going to wait until they get either their Link Monster or Cyber Dragon Nova, but we definitely cannot allow Infinity to land on the board at any point. Or we can actually act now. Once my laptop recovers. Let's see here. All right. Okay. Come on, game. You should allow me. Once it recovers. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, we're gonna act now. We're not gonna allow them to exceed summon in the first place. Yes, we will special summon a couple of monsters. We'll summon Puppy and we'll summon Penny, I guess. Yeah, return to the hand. Special summon, or we can get Catty, and then we can search Penny that way. All right, cool. So we'll summon Puppy and we'll summon Catty. There we go. And then once they either exceed summon or link summon, or if we don't need to do that, we can just Ash Blossom their next play. The biggest danger, by the way, with my ratios is that if any of your one-ofs are like banished, it's gone. It's just straight up gone, and you're going to have to rely on your Tri-Brigade cards to carry you from there. But in my experience, at the very least, this is surprisingly like more than enough. So it's good. It's Gucci. Don't worry about it. So we're gonna use Catty here. We're gonna get Penny. Where's Penny? There we go. Penny to hand, and that's fine. And then our opponent is going to do a thing. We'll let Blue Eyes White Dragon roar here, and then we'll get a croak from the frog. There we go. Ribbit, ribbit. Let's see what our opponent's gonna do here. He is definitely going to be very wary by this point, because he knows that I have a Penny in hand, which represents any synchro monster. Usually a level 4 synchro monster, right? He's going to go for Seeger. All right. I think this is where we act. And honestly, we should before he summons anymore. Yeah, add a Cyber Dragon. Yep. We're gonna do this now. We're going to leave our opponent with like literally nothing on board here. Face of Beast was returned to the hand except Penny. Special summon it from the hand. I think we don't need to do that one just yet. So we're gonna use Puppy first. Bounce to the hand. Yes, we'll special summon the monster, and we will get Calantosa. I can't shout too loud here because I am sharing a room with like 3 other people. I cannot be too loud. There we go. And Calantosa will trigger after my opponent gets a Cyber Dragon. And I'm gonna have a drink of water while my opponent does their searching. They already searched. And yep, another Cyber Dragon. Alright, cool. And we'll trigger Calantosa, and we will destroy the Sigger. We will not use... I think we should use it now, while our opponent like doesn't have much. Okay. And we can safely use Wally by this point because she's already done her job. So there's that. Then yes, we will special summon. We will summon Mary Melffy's. So we'll use Penny here, and we will use Wally. There we go. Once my laptop recovers. Once it recovers, come on. Come on, game. You're gonna let me do this. Come on. There we go. It's gone to the giver by this point. There we go. We're gonna set the defense. There we go. Mary Melffy's. Calantosa pops Sigger. Then Mary Melffy's will trigger. And we will return Cyber Dragon back to hand. There we go. My opponent already committed to their normal summon, and we have this board like pretty goddamn locked. Oh, of course, because I control a monster. Great. I forgot that Cyber Dragon does that. Come on. There we go. So our opponent special summoned here. So we'll use Mary Melffy's effect. Come on. Oh, there we go. So it'll bounce itself back to the extra deck, and then we'll summon Melffy of the Forest. There we go. We don't have much. Oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that, and we're probably dead here. Unless we like unless they have a search. But we're gonna see here. We still have a chance, surprisingly, in spite of everything here. Alright, cool. So he'll likely just use Cyber Dragon here to attack. Either Calantosa or Melffy of the Forest. I am assuming Melffy of the Forest is like the target here. Yep, since it's the more dangerous of the two. And Calanto's already done his effect, so he's not like going to be doing too much by this point. Right. Main phase 2, end phase. Alright, cool. Okay, we're gonna do something cool here. Alright, we do another Wally. Great. I think that'll just be Xyz's fodder by this point. Alright, and we've already used Calantosa's effect. Alright, cool. So we'll need to read Alpha again. You can only special summon him if the total attack of all monsters your opponent controls is more than that of all monsters you control. So we'll summon Alpha, the Master of Beasts. There we go. Alpha down. Then we'll summon Wally after the fact, if our opponent even allows it. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't. If I'm reading this correctly, this is like Cybernetic Overload, which is a removal spell for the Cyber Dragon archetype. If our there we go. All right, yep, it is Cybernetic Overload because it's a trap card. Once the picture loads, yeah, Overflow. Well, it's close enough. Right, cool. Um, so banishing one, and I'm assuming Alpha. He's going to target Alpha here. Yep. All right, that's cool. And we'll summon Wally here. Then we will Xyz summon. Do we get Melffy of the Forest? Yeah, we're gonna get Ronin Raccoon. There we go. Ronin Raccoon. There we go. In defense. And then we will use his effect. Comes current attack of the monster on the field with the highest attack. Your choice if tied. So we'll detach Kalantosa here. There we go. Then we'll use the token to crash into his Cyber Dragon. There we go. So it's 2100, and we could help. We could even use this to like go into Fairy Jeet, but we're not going to. We should just get rid of the material he has on board, so that he will not be able to do much. Come on, my turn. Okay, and then we will summon. Oh, fuck! I forgot that Pity can do that. You just attach himself like, hey, I'm helpful. There we go. You're a good seal. There we go. Then once the game loads up again, we can summon the two Melffys we have in hand. And yeah, this is like the loop, the resource loop that Melffys are pretty goddamn known for. The only flaw that they have is once the loop is like disrupted in any way, shape, or form, it's very, very hard for them to strike back. But once they do establish their line, it's very, very hard to stop. So yeah, this is the Melffy experience. It's just wait until your end phase and just plop everything down on board. You don't even need to use your normal summon. You very rarely need to use your normal summon in this deck. So yeah, we're gonna see if my opponent does anything about this. Otherwise, I will just like, and I still have like two Ash Blossoms if they even try to search. Okay, another Cyber Dragon, he'll probably just attack. But I have a Kalantos at the ready here. Oh wait, I should have chain blocked it. Use Melffy Puppy first. Yeah, that's a misplay on my part. But yeah, I will just keep controlling my opponent here until they give up or I manage to kill them at a certain point. So we will be back once we reach the next instinct port, or we just skip to the next duel entirely because I already won. We'll see you guys there. Okay, we're back, and let me just show you guys what I've been doing like ever since the last cut. I had Tri-Brigade Revolt set for the longest time, but I managed to control my opponent to the point where they just straight up gave up. I had actually many opportunities to go into my Tri-Brigade cards at a certain point, but I had such a good control of whatever it is my opponent's doing at that point. And granted, you know, it eventually came to a point where my opponent only had like one card in hand, but it was a slow process to get to the end here. And yeah, I a bunch of cybernetic dragons lost to a bunch of like cutesy animals from the fairy tale forests. We move on to the next duel. My opponent made me go seconds, and that is a very, very bad idea for my deck. Ooh, at least we have infinite permanence, and we have Wally and Penny in our opening hand. So that's something, but it's not going to be a lot. Okay, we are facing off against bullshit. Whatever it is our opponent's gonna do, we're probably already dead. Unless, of course, there's like a weird build of certain decks. I've seen newer players use Magical Mallet as a way to basically mulligan in this game, and it is not a good idea. Honestly. See? That's what I was talking about. You could potentially brick. Stuff like that. Staring contest is about what I actually wanted now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, we'll use staring contest here. It's basically ash bait, if I ever saw one. Okay, we'll use staring contest. We'll put Fenny back since I honestly have no idea what we're up against here. And we're going to get likely Catty, since we already have both Wally and Penny in hand. Although, you know, our opponent could be reading this for the first time like, what the hell is this guy on? So there's that. Alright, cool. We'll add a Melffy card. Okay, once the game loads. Alright, that's Caddy. And then we have the others. I don't really need to scroll since there are like only so few targets. We're going to keep the others in the deck. I think the ones that I prefer to keep in the deck are like Puppy and Caddy. Or we can just get Puppy straight up. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, we should just get Puppy straight up. And then we have like 2 ways to get into Calantosa. And yeah, that's also a possibility. Yeah, we'll just get Puppy. There we go. And then once the game loads, and there we go. All right. We will not be doing anything yet because I have no idea what our opponent's on. So we'll just set 2, and then we will play the control. We will be the control player here, right? And then we'll get Wally down. Maxi, sure, that's completely fine. You can have your draw 2 and eat it. There's okay. Wally, there we go. Yep, we cannot prevent this, unfortunately. And Puppy, summon yourself down. There you go. There, have your draw 2. So our opponent could just be quite literally using Magical Mallet as a way to get rid of a bad hand. Right, Pot of Extravagance. That is completely fine by me. Let's see what our opponent draws off the top of their deck once the game loads. All right. Let's see here. Okay, once the game loads, this will take a while. That's also why, like, I cut the first part of the vid. Like, I cut like the first part of the recording short-ish. I skipped a lot of stuff because of all of this. Trick Stars. Okay, you have me interested, opponent. Trickstar Light Stage. I think it's already at 3. Yep, Candina. Yep, the main starter. Okay, let's see what you got here, opponent. Set in the field zone. The set card cannot be activated during the end phase. Oh no! Okay, we can't use our infinite permanence now, so we have to fully rely on our onboard stuff. Oh boy. Trickstar Burn. We are getting shades of 2014 Yu-Gi-Oh! Was it 2014? I just know that it's like mid 2010s Yu-Gi-Oh! when we're like using Trickstar Burn. Yep. Yeah, and Dark Room of Nightmare, Chain Energy, all that shebang. Okay, cool. And you even have Candina to do it, right? Candina, yep. You're going to burn yourself first before I do anything here, right? I'm getting Annie, Trickstar, sure. What you gonna get? I'm guessing Licorice, and then you're going to try to attack into my Melffys. Yep, getting Licorice. So there's that. Then what you gonna do now, opponent? Let's see. Come on. Okay, once it loads. Oh, just going straight into combat. All right, cool. Forcing me to take my 1K here. In my hand. Keep them revealed during this battle phase only. Sure. I will reduce Candina's attack power by a measly 300 points. There we go. Minus 300. Sure. We'll still use Wally here. That's completely fine. Yep, I'll take my 500. That's completely fine. Ooh, ashing me here. That is a mistake. Yeah, I'll take my 500. That's completely fine here. Once the game loads, once the lag like disappears, that's only when I act. There we go. No, I am not playing slow on purpose because of the lag that my laptop has been presenting. It's been like common lately, ever since like every new update. I think I need to put the settings back on low again. Yeah, you guys will have to suffer through a 360p video again, probably after this recording. I'm so sorry for that. I really do need a new laptop in the future, but you know, I work with what I've been given here. Right, cool. Ash Blossom is negated. Yep, I will take 200. That's fine. I will take 200 more. Okay, Ash Blossom is negated. Wally bounces. There we go. Then we'll summon Catty. Yeah, we'll summon Catty here. And we'll also summon Horse. or the pony. There we go. There we go. Okay, who will you attack now, opponent? Yep, I'll take 300. I'll take 300. I'll probably take 900. Okay. What's that? Yep. Well, that's completely fine. I think I'll get rid of one of the burn spells here, and I think getting rid of Chain Energy, or actually no, I'll get rid of Candina since she's the one that's attacking here. Okay. Yep, that's fine. I'll summon Penny. Yeah, special summon. I'll summon Merry Melffys. There we go. Then do that. And there's Synchro Shokan away. Merry Melffys. There we go. Dark Growth Nightmare, 300. Then 300 again. And Merry Melffys activate. Then we'll bounce Candina back to hand. All that work just to get rid of a Candina. Yep, Licorice. Yep. She will. Yep. Alright, cool. Target a. Wait, oh god. Oh god, laptop's lagging again. Yep. He'll take 500 for that. We will be at equal life total after this. That's cool. Okay. Then Licorice. Yep. Why are you activating that again? Sure. Oh, you have two Licorice. Sure. That's like that'll miss now? Question mark? Okay, it still summons itself. Then we'll use Merry Melffys as effect. Then we will chain block. We'll get Puppy first. And then we'll get Catty. And then finally we'll get Pony. So all of our searchers will be in the middle of this chain, and he will not be able to ash it. And he can't use infinite permanence either because he does not have empty zones. Or rather, his board isn't empty. So we're gonna chain block properly here. And there we go. Yeah, this is like the Melffy experience if you haven't already seen this. We will get Wally? No, we get Penny back. Oh wait, I shouldn't have done that, but I don't think I'll be making like Xyz monsters this turn anyway. Alright, so all of the burn stuff is now going to occur. Then Catty. I wasn't even done. Oh my god, but yeah, I think he saw the writing on the wall because I don't know why he surrendered there. I mean, I wasn't even like done. But I guess I don't know if he calculated it that he will die from my damage on the crackback, and I won't die from all of the burn that he's doing in the first place. I guess, granted, you know, I'll destroy like I'll either bounce Licorice back, or I'll pop it with Calantosa and other monster removal type effects. I'll also like probably find a way to remove his back row. Does Merry Melffys return any card, or does it only return a monster? Wait, target a face-up monster. Yeah, Merry Melffys only removes monsters, but yeah, I don't know why my opponent surrendered there, but you know, we take rents where we can get them around these parts. So we move on to the next duel once my laptop decides to function properly. There we go. We move on to the next duel. And I won the die roll, and I'm going first. And our opponent is rocking a Vendred mate, so that's already concerning. And we this is one of those hands where we end up with the Tri-Brigade half the deck. So we're gonna we shouldn't, should we? Yeah, Fractal is like the Ash Blossom bait in this deck, but we did not get it. That is surprising. So we're going to Kit, then Kit. You've seen this before. I'm assuming this is the Ash bait. Once all is said and done. Nope, it's still not baiting the Ash. Great. Okay. We can still keep going. Once the game loads up. Come on. There we go. Right, and we send Nerval. You've seen this play before. Then Nerval. We'll add Karos. Then we'll use Karos. As sad as it is to say, we'll have to discard Alpha, the Master of Beasts. Then we'll set Karos to defense because that's what we do. We are responsible control players. We'll banish 2. Preferably these two, so that they can cycle their graveyard effects for later again. And then we will summon Double Dragon Lord once I figure out which one of these is it. I'm assuming it's the one with the both arrows pointing downward. Alright, cool. We'll summon Ancient Warriors, Double Dragon Lords. There we go. Then we'll set this here. And then we move to the end phase, and Wally will summon herself out. There we go. So we have a surprising amount of interaction here, at least 3. Because between Imperm and Wally summoning Puppy so that we can get Calantosa. So we have a pop, hell, even a return, all things considered. Then we also have a bounce. So we'll see what our opponent has here, you know, their internet notwithstanding. But we're gonna see what our opponent's gonna be up to here. They are rocking mutant sleeves, so they could be up to some crazy ass bullshit, and I'm probably dead right now. Unless my internet is the one that cooperates, but we're gonna see here. Right. Okay, going straight into combat, so we will get evenly matched here. That's about what I expected. So we're going to lose Imperm and Double Dragon Lords. Hell, even like Karos here. So yeah, Double Dragons, Karos, and Imperm. There we go. I prefer to keep Wally around. As weird as it is to say, because she just represents so much. Okay, what's he doing here? Once the game loads, once it loads up, come on game. There we go. Okay, we're doing some Umi control here. That's like one of the very few decks that uses this card. But if he's just gonna sit and pass, then he probably doesn't have it, question mark. Alright, cool, he does have it. Alright, Doomquacken. I think that's the negate. I'm not sure if it's the negate, but I'm not gonna care. So we'll get Puppy, and we'll get Caddy, so that we can get our loops going. There we go. There we go. Alright, and will you summon again, opponent? I highly doubt you will. Given that it's already main phase 2. But you could still have like like one card in hand. You could still like summon something here, or you could like skip my okay. So he just set up his controls, or his control elements. So it's now up to me to try and break through it, or at the very least play chicken for a while. We're gonna set Imperm in one of the columns here. But first, word from our sponsors, Fire Formation Denki. We're gonna get Fractal out of our deck. Let's see if that triggers if this triggers the Ash Blossom here, which is a possibility. Okay, good. We'll get Fractal, and then we're gonna normal summon Fractal. But if that gets negated, we'll just swing into his creature here. Okay, there we go. Fractal summoned. He is 1900, which is bigger than your squid. Let's see what our opponent does here. Right, he does nothing. Alright, cool. I think at this point, we should actually just attack into the squid first, reduce the number of material he has on board. And let's see what he does from there. We do have, unfortunately, we don't have too much material. Okay, return the card to the hand. If you do negate the attack, that's completely fine. Okay, yeah, using C stealth attack, sure. We're not gonna be able to do much anyway, unfortunately. Okay. Sure. Do your thing, opponent. You can activate an Umi from their graveyard. Sure. So the squid returns, the attack is negated. That's completely fine. You can activate any monster effects anyway. So yeah, we just moved to main 2. So this is like 2 control decks facing off against each other. End of combat. Do you have something? Okay, cool. We're going to do the fractal thing, and we're just gonna set Imperm here. Totally not suspicious, and totally not telegraphing anything. We're not going to activate Wally since our 2 targets are already there, so we'll just cancel that. So this represents Penny. Catty here represents Penny, and Puppy here represents Calantosa, and we still have an infinite permanence to fight through whatever it is my opponent is doing. So yeah, this is gonna take a while. Because I think my opponent bricked if he had to start with evenly matched. And then he has like Doom Kraken in hand, so he has a Squid that is an attack negation, and I'm not sure if he has like Karyushin. He is using like this is Go Second Umi control. Great, all right. So my opponent's gonna pop off here, and we're gonna skip to the next interesting point here. So we'll see you guys there. Okay, so a small update here. I managed to draw into Alpha the Master of Beasts, which will definitely trigger a response out of my opponent here, and they have managed to break a significant amount of my board by managing to get into Ocean Dragon Lord here, and I am not going to be able to do too much, unfortunately, about that, unless I draw specifically into back row removal, which is something that I only have at least only one of, unfortunately. But yeah, we're just gonna do alpha here, the alpha thing here, and we're going to delay it for a bit. Yeah, we're gonna synchro summon because a beast was returned. Oh my god, this is way. Oh, because it's only water. Interesting. All right, cool. So there's that, and then we'll get Ferrijit. There we go. Okay. So I may have just thrown this, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So I'm pretty sure I've lost by this point because I barely have anything here, and yeah. So that's the Melffy experience. It's a really good. It's a really good control deck. As you guys saw in the previous duel. Once you get the ball rolling, it's pretty goddamn hard to stop. But you know, so more often than not, you get stuff like this where, hell, even with hands that your opponent could have, you know, with a specific amount of stuff your opponent could have, sometimes it's just not enough. And you know, you could build it better. You could lean harder onto the Tri-Brigade stuff, and then just use Melffy as a splash instead. But otherwise, it's a good rogue contender. I'll be completely honest, it's a good rogue contender because Melffy's play on an axis that not a lot of decks are truly prepared for. You'd rather have infinite permanence to negate whatever it is they're gonna do, but ultimately they are a really slow deck by Yu-Gi-Oh standards. So yeah, I'm not gonna put my system through any more suffering here. So we're just gonna cut it here and let my opponent find a way to finish me off. Yeah, so I don't record for a week, and again, I already forget what I do for a hobby around these parts. So if you like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles.